Did you know that the Toyota Hilux single-handedly took down an entire tower block in Bristol, UK? Welcome to Nobody Drives. Like, subscribe, and comment for more. Let's start. In 2003, Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May over at Top Gear were looking for a new challenge to put their indestructible pickup truck through. What better way than to put it on top of a condemned tower block in Bristol, blow the building up, and then see if the Hilux survives? Yeah, you heard right. These guys really did put this poor pickup truck through its paces, but that's nothing compared to what they have planned for it next. When it was all said and done, the Hilux had been buried under thousands of pounds of rubble, but somehow managed to survive. A few minutes later, a very dusty mechanic got to work on the Hilux. Now here's the thing about this particular test. No spare parts were allowed to be used, meaning that whatever was broken had to be fixed on the spot, or the Hilux wouldn't start again. Somehow this guy managed to dig the Hilux out from under thousands of pounds of rubble, get it started, and drive it away. So let me ask you this. What do you think he found when he popped the hood? Let me know in the comments below. And now back to our story. It turns out that the Hilux needed a new clutch after being buried in rubble and getting covered in concrete. So maybe not completely indestructible, but definitely one tough cookie. I mean, who else could survive an explosion like this and still come out on top? No, seriously, how is this even possible? But that's not even the half of it. After the Hilux was dug out, it was thrown into the sea and left to drown for 24 hours. Did it survive? Of course it did, because it's the indestructible Hilux. Oh wait, you thought I was joking, didn't you? I'm sorry to disappoint, but there are no jokes here. Just the raw truth. The next day, the crew came back to find that the Hilux had floated to the surface and was fully intact. Although it should be pointed out that the keys were nowhere to be seen and the doors had been forced open. But hey, a little water never hurt anyone, right? Well, it turns out that it did. It turns out that the electrics weren't too happy about being underwater for so long, but a quick dry out and a few choice words later, and the Hilux was back in business. Then something happened, something truly special. For the first time ever, the Hilux became a meme. And I don't mean one of those silly memes where they put the Hilux in some weird situation and make it say funny things. I'm talking about a meme that celebrates everything the Hilux stands for. Reliability, toughness, and overall awesomeness. There's a reason why the meme spread like wildfire across the internet. The indestructible Hilux resonates with people all around the world because it embodies the best qualities of us car lovers. We love our cars and we want them to last forever. We also like to push them to their limits and see what they can really do. And let's face it, we've all been there before. You buy a new car and you want to see how far you can push it before something breaks. With the Hilux, it seems like you can push it pretty far. So let's take a moment to appreciate the Hilux for what it is. A true legend. A pickup truck that can withstand anything we throw at it, whether it's explosions, flooding, or any other disaster you can think of. We can always count on the Hilux to be there for us. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. The crew came back to find that the Hilux had been stolen and taken for a joyride. They managed to track it down and retrieve it only to find that it had been covered in paint. Now normally this would be cause for concern, but not for the Hilux. A quick wipe down and it was back in business. But that wasn't the end of the road for the Hilux, not by a long shot. Next stop on the list was to be set on fire. That's right. The crew poured 20 gallons of petrol over the Hilux and lit it on fire. But you know what? It just sat there like it was made of asbestos. Was this thing actually made of asbestos? Maybe we should check the back of the cigarette pack. Nope, there's nothing in here about asbestos. Okay, cool. Let's move on. With the fire out, the Hilux was ready for its next adventure. It was time to bring in the big guns. The crew set up a wrecking ball and let it swing. But guess what? The Hilux didn't budge. It stood its ground like the badass pickup truck that it is. At this point, I think we can all agree that the Hilux is indestructible. But if you're still not convinced, I've got one more thing to add to the list. Have you ever wondered what it would look like if the Hilux took on a tank? Because I have, and apparently the crew at Top Gear have too. That's why they put the Hilux up against a real-life tank and let it loose. The Hilux managed to survive the initial impact, but was soon overwhelmed by the sheer weight of the tank and crushed beneath its treads. Or was it? You see, the Hilux may be indestructible, but it's not invincible. and the tank was eventually able to crush the Hilux. However, even in defeat, the Hilux remained defiant. It didn't break down or stop running. It kept going until it literally had no more road left to run on. It was a valiant effort, and one that should be celebrated. In the end, the Hilux was declared the winner of the ultimate showdown between man and machine. The show went on to become one of the most popular episodes of Top Gear ever, and the Hilux became a bona fide legend. To this day, people still talk about the Hilux and its legendary battle with the tank. It's become a meme and a cultural icon, and it's all because of one pickup truck that refused to give up no matter how bad things got. I think we can all learn something from the Hilux. When the odds are stacked against you and all hope seems lost, just remember the words of the great philosopher and poet Lil Wayne. They try to break you down, but you gotta stay strong. And that's exactly what the Hilux did. Even when it was outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched, it still managed to hold its own. It didn't back down from a fight, and it didn't give up in the face of adversity. It's a lesson we can all learn from. No matter what challenges we face in life, we should always remember to stay strong and keep fighting. The Hilux didn't have a choice in the matter. It's just what it had to do to survive. But in doing so, it taught us an important lesson about resilience and determination. So the next time you're feeling down and out, just remember the Hilux and the fact that it held its own against a frickin' tank. Maybe it doesn't really apply to your everyday problems, but hey, it's still a good story. So there you have it. The time a Toyota Hilux took on a tank and won. It's a story that will be told for years to come, and one that will continue to inspire people around the world. So if you ever see a Hilux on the road, be sure to give it a nod of respect. It's a true legend. Thanks for watching Nobody Drives. Like, subscribe, and see you next time.